Feels nice.
I'm young and now you're old, but you're still in my heart, and the memory won't grow cold. I dream of times and spaces I left far behind, where we spent our last few days. Benson's on my mind.
That was a good choice to switch to tea, because otherwise I never would have started making these decaf milk teas at night. It's the best thing ever. I mean, I have to get up to piss like 4 times after I go to bed, but before I get up. At least I'm hydrated. All right. Oh, the air should be on. Whenever I start talking my butt off, I start to overheat. This music will probably get the Twitch VOD DCMA'd, but DMCA'd. And YouTube VOD taken down completely. So I won't be able to listen to my own self ramble. That's fine. Damn, that... Oh, I forgot to turn... I need to turn the light off. Turn the wrong light off. Now you can see... Now you can see the organism. Now you can see the organism. All right. So I'll talk about my game a little bit. Why is that light cockeyed? There. So I was thinking today, in the Barnes and Noble, talking to AI. This whole design can really, like, so much hinges on the idea of a default target. Because I was talking about the default target pretty much always being an opponent's card, if he has any on the board, unless he did some kind of dodge thing that would How's the toothpick? Unless you did some kind of dodge, that would... It will actually be like a one-time move, essentially, during that combat phase. That would direct the damage at the health instead of the card, allowing the defender to disperse the damage a little bit. But I realized that, well, the first problem was if you don't let players not dodge or block or counter and just eat the damage with their health, and on top of that, you have the whole system where any card whose back is facing the direction of an attack becomes the default target and gets one hit killed. It would never make sense to attack, to do like a full attack or even a partial attack before your opponent, or before you had enough damage, because you would just be totally vulnerable to counterattack on his next turn. So, and really I think that might come down to the entire system of, hey, if you get hit from behind, that's a death. And the reason I kind of wanted to have the whole system of auto countering if the cards are facing the direction of an attack, and I might actually go back to that now that I think of it. Might have to. You could attack during your turn and not leave your entire battle line completely open for devastating counterattack. So maybe the auto counterattacking idea wasn't so bad after all. Especially if you give attackers like this attacker's advantage, essentially, where they can either be indestructible or have poison, depending on their weapon's reach and speed compared to the blocking cards' reach and speed. So maybe that works after all. Maybe the auto countering thing is what works, because if I just say there's no backstab mechanic, there's no card as the default target mechanic, then the game loses all of the tactical feel that I wanted to create. Or at least partially create as a starting point to build on. Because if you just say, heck, you don't have to block any attack with a card if you don't want to, and your cards are not at risk of being removed during your opponent's turn because of how they're positioned or whatever. We need a way for players to threaten their opponent, deal damage to their opponent, without it being just a straight up error every time. So I pretty much decided I don't like the whole idea of you can only intercept an attack if your speed is faster, but you can intercept an attack from beyond the default target if your range is longer. Too complicated, unnecessarily complicated. So I think I updated it where it's at right now. The bow's special ability is it can intercept attacks from beyond the default target if it wants to. But saying that any weapon with a better range rating can do that is too confusing, I think, at least at the moment. But the problem is, like, I don't know, if you have two strong cards, high power cards with fast weapons facing outward every turn, so, you know, say they have a dagger or unarmed and they're facing outward every turn, and so no weapon is faster than them, so they don't get the one hit, they don't get the trade effect. I don't know, it could just be a bad situation to, well, maybe not. I'm basically trying to play test this game without finishing it first. I'm trying to play test the most fundamental parts of it in my head. I don't want it to be like Magic the Gathering, where you only make it like Magic the Gathering but without combat tricks. You know, like super one-dimensional. Like you only make trades with as the defender. When they make sense. And you only attack when the defender can't make good trades. Otherwise, you let him attack and tap and take damage to your library. And then you attack when it's your turn and, you know, try to at least get some damage in. Keep the life totals somewhat close. While you try to, like, get a board advantage. So I think whether or not the last unit in line is the default target, or if the health is the default target, if there's nobody tapped left or right or upside down on the battle line, isn't that important compared to whether or not cards with their back turned are default targets and are one hit killed by any attack, and whether or not cards facing the direction of the attack are a default counter. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of forcing cards to dodge if they want to take damage to the health. Maybe I'll just try it like pretty much what I had it like, except without the whole restrictions on intercepting. But I think I'd like to add, I think it might be, see, I have to think about this stuff a lot because there's not going to be multiple cards tapped at once to form an attack. Like you have in Magic the Gathering, or multiple cards tapped at once to form a block. It's always just like one card versus one card. I suppose we could have some interesting mechanics. Like there is for comboing, there is the dagger backstab mechanic where you ready yourself. Get a kill with a dagger. So I did a lot of work on the game today. Past couple of days on the digital assets. I have all the cards created in a React app with CSS, essentially just CSS and some assets. And it's a nice little program. I can easily edit the cards. Like I have a big JSON file with 55 card objects in it. And I can change their costs, I can change their power levels, I can change various things about the cards, the names, the types. So it's a really nice way to sort of design a card game real easily, because you can see all the cards and like what you're putting on them, what little icons you're putting on them. So we've got 3 class cards for each cost level, 1 through 7, and 1 class from each category at each cost level. So I think cost 1 is Acrobat for combat, agent for stealth, and healer for magic. Cost 2 is archer for combat. Witch hunter for magic. Totally forget. Thief for stealth, maybe. Level 3 is like rogue for combat. Nightblade for magic. Yeah, I forget. But and then I gave for every cost level, I made sure no two cards had the same power level. One had equal to cost, one had one above the cost, and one had one beneath the cost. So I think overall, like, magic and combat have like equal power total across the 7 cards. It's like 31 or something. And then stealth is significantly beneath those two. So stealth is not going to be very good at combat, but I think stealth in general has faster weapons. So you know, they're good for removal because of the speed. They don't need high combat power. Let's see, anything else? Oh, yeah, all the birth sign cards I assign costs for to give the whole deck a nice bell curve. Like there's one cost, 1 7 cost, 2 costs, 2 6 costs, 2 4 costs, 2 5 costs, and 2 3 costs, 2 5 costs, and 3 4 costs. So it's got a bell curve of costs. And then of course the skill cards don't have any cost. And I think I'm going to stick with that. So I guess my goal now is to decide on how I want the rules to actually work. Like the core combat rules. Actually, I think I want to go back to doing the counter mechanic. An auto counter if the attack comes from a certain direction. And an auto kill if the attack comes from another direction. Because you have to be able to make attacks. And then cards untap at the beginning of the turn. Certain activate abilities will flip the card 180, where either direction is an attack from the rear. Once your card has been tapped left or right defensively to do a defensive move, which I guess is dodge, or... And I removed dodge from some of the some of the cards, mostly the magic user cards. So they don't have any defensive ability, and I guess that just means They have to counter if they want to intercept an attack. And if we're going to have dodge work the way it does work, where you have to use it to mill instead of counter, or block or whatever, then there is always a card that is the default target unless there's no cards on the board. So the default target has to either dodge or block or counter. So I don't know. I guess this works. Might work. So yeah, I don't know. Might work great. Might be like a fun game. Problem is, seems like it could be tough to get cards out on the board, because let's say it's turn 3 or whatever. You have 2 cards on the board. I have 2 cards on the board. You attack with one. I dodge because it's a stronger card. You wouldn't have attacked if it wasn't, or like a faster card. Facing this way. And then you attack with another card. So they're facing outward. Yeah. Could be interesting. I think what I had at first is pretty much correct. Auto counter, backstab kills, intercepts available. And then the whole bow special ability, where you use it defensively to like shoot attackers before they, I don't know. That might be too powerful. Come up with something else for that. So, getting close. Maybe this weekend I'll have like a playable physical version. I'll print out the rules document, which is the README for the good song. Print out the little rules document, print out the cards. The thing is, I have to come up with the effects for all the cards. I have to come up with effects for the birth signs and the classes and the skills. But I think the way the skills are going to work, I think I explained it on the last stream.
We got big trouble here in Little China. You can feel the wind is rising, baby. Now the truth is here. Out of the dark that's coming.
I'll actually try to play against myself a little bit.
We better run.
See how it feels. But I want to actually finish the rules and just one. This song's hilarious. Fuck. Shit. Actually, do I want to? Or just maybe the walk? My plan was to try to get there and search there, so yeah, it's fine. Alright, second distraction. Brutal. Just have to take the fail. Lose the 4 time. Alright. Brutal turn. It's not worth it. Alright, so I'm going to take these 2 out here. Should I just leave them in the hallway? Maybe. Nah, I'll try to rescue them out here. Get frostbite and die though. Lose 1 time. Walk again. We gotta get it here or we're fucked. We're stuck outside. I'm gonna lose the health and lose the 2 time. But then this move is actually panicked because of the heavy storm, so I have to roll a 3 or a 4. Otherwise, I'm going back inside. Fuck. Oh, I got a 4. Nice. I think I'll bring these guys inside with me so they don't freeze to death. Alright, now I can search. Oh, actually, that's the end of the turn. Ay, ay, ay. If there is a mutated organism in play, panic each of the exposed victims. Increase the horror. And move that dude towards a victim and kill it. So it's the gray one, right? Yeah. Dead. Wait, every time the bloodlust increases, do you do that event, that next step there? You do, don't you? I have to panic that guy. 5. Stays where he's at. Panic him again. Where's that here? Right? That's correct. Okay, so now he's in this hallway with fucking 4 victims. That's not good. It's gonna be a massacre. So the search card. Get the ski dozer keys. I could spend 2 time on my 2-way radio to move these guys outside. Yeah. Uh. The thing is, I don't know if I'd actually do that shit. Thing is, I don't know if every time the bloodlust increases, do I do that stuff that's in that column? Or do I only do that stuff when the card is flipped over? Because if that's the case, he's still over here. Let me ask the internet. Fuck, I saw it and then I pressed it back. Shit. Just to be clear, when the bloodlust goes up, you immediately apply the effects from all organisms that are on the board, from left to right, not just the organism whose attack triggered the bloodlust. I don't know, that seems like it's... This guy didn't even understand what he was saying. Okay. I guess that's... So he should be in this hallway. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense, of course. Let me see if I can search this room here. Tough. Ooh, comm specialist. Victim close as you, but not in the radio room. Closest to, but not in the radio room. Is now the comms specialist. If the comms specialist is in the radio room once per action phase, you may roll a die. On a roll 5 or 6, you may move the helicopter one space. If the comms specialist is killed, discard 2 action cards of your choice. Well, unfortunately, one of you guys has got to be the comms specialist. Okay, bloodlust increased. Horror increased by 2. Lost 2 time. God, I can take the Skeetos or keys. Shit, it's kind of dumb making rolls when you don't have any cards to like potentially save the situation with. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna use my 2-way radio to get the comms specialist to safety. Cost of time. Alright. He's got still got full health, so it doesn't matter. Dead. Horror. Yikes. The fact that the horror is at max level and I've purchased and used 2 distraction cards already this game. It's crazy. Alright, these guys panic, right? Because somebody died from the killer in the spot. Six and 4. Guy runs outside in the cold. This dude goes in the kitchen. And he panics. Back into the... Uh-oh. This is a cool one. I like this one. It seems really hard, like... I mean, I guess I have to kill the thing. The organism. This doesn't look like a win. But oh shit, I forgot to do the this phase. Well, I forgot to take this test kit. Take the distraction, I guess. All right. This weekend, I'm going to get the game rules figured out, printed out nicely, come up with effects for all the freaking cards, print out a full deck, and then I'll probably just split the deck so it's like 25, 24 or whatever. Or 27, 28 cards. And just play some games against myself. See if it feels fun at all. See if it even possibly could be fun with the core rules I want to sort of keep intact. 1 attack, 1 blocker, sequential combat. Basically, the cards being and you know, you could have, if I make card draw a thing that is easy to get, and then I also made damage to the deck something less strong than the combat rating. That's not a bad idea. Then I don't know, maybe because I want players to battle on their battle lines as much as possible. And you know, if you can draw a bunch of cards back, deploy a bunch of cards, and not be taking too much damage in the meantime, if, say, for example, you got board wiped somehow, I should increase the supply add of cards. I should reduce the damage they do to the deck. And I should increase card draw. And that would let players, if they get obliterated, be able to get a second wave of troops out quickly and keep doing the whole sequential tactical combat against the other guy's battle line without getting killed right away. Lower damage to health. Increase supply add from individual cards. Increase card draw. But if I do that, that's 2 more numbers I have to add to a card. To all the cards. I have to add a supply add modifier. And I have to add a damage value that's different from their combat power. There's already so much going on with these cards. I don't know. Maybe people could handle it. Maybe they'd be totally fine with it. I need to remember. I need to have I have all these lists on my phone, but I'm just going to tell Grok to update the document I have. Alright, that's it for now.